Quite pleasant weather greets us now here on pole day at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway. And this man here, a three-time winner, Helio Castroneves, has completed his first qualifying run, has indeed the entire field. However, this man here for Team Rahal Letterman Lanigan Racing, James Jakes, has been disqualified. His post-qualifying tech, the car was underweight. We will have more on that in just a moment as we welcome you back to our practice and qualifying coverage live here on the NBC Sports Network. Justin Wilson for Dale Coyne Racing, the lanky Englishman. It was a solid run, and 14th. He is well and truly in the field, in the top 24. No need to be worried about going to bump day just yet. And as we gently transition back into practice mode, again, we have given everybody a qualifying run after a heavy weather delay earlier today. Let's show you how we got to where we are. Rookie AJ Allmendinger driving for the 15-time winner Roger Penske, put in a very impressive run. He was the fourth car out on track, and Jan, he went straight to the top. He was the provisional pole man for quite some time. And it was very consistent lap times, and when Helio Castroneves went out, he wasn't as consistent. They really trimmed out the car. He was flying 235. He went on the front straightaway. And Gil, he went to the top, your old teammate. However, the best from Penske was still to come. And what we're talking about is this man here, Will Power. His first two laps were in the 229-mile-an-hour bracket.
He was super impressive. I mean, everybody was on the 28s, 27s. He puts at 29.4. It was out of reach.
It was incredible. 2 in the 29s, 2 in the 28s, and that took Will Power on top. Tex in the middle there, and the rest of the team celebrated. Marty spoke with him.
Well, when we talked to Will Power earlier, you said you knew you had a shot at the pole, but did you know it had that much speed in it?
Yeah, that was definitely that was the first lap. I was surprised at that, but yeah, just trying to use every little bit of road and not scrub speed. Good balance, great for the Verizon guys. Obviously, that's the first step, and yeah, I really hope that we have a shot this afternoon.
So Fast 9 coming up a little bit later. We'll talk more about that in a moment. Let's go from Penske to another powerhouse team, Andretti Autosport, the defending series champion Ryan Hunter-Reay. It was a very controlled run.
It was one of the first time we've seen an Andretti car not drop off in speed. Of course, one of his teammates is rookie Munoz, and he had a flyer of a beginning, but then amazingly didn't drop off as much as others. A great run for him.
Yeah, I mean, outside the front row in his rookie season is very impressive.
Very impressive indeed. They were saying he was a bit wild. However, he held it together for the 4 laps of qualifying. And the final car to come out, the 33rd and final car, was Panther DRR's Oriol Servia, and certainly put himself in the field in the 13th fastest speed. So let's recap things for you. Penske's Will Power on top with a 4-lap average of 228.8. That was mind-blowing, especially those 2 opening laps. And then Ryan Hunter-Reay, as we said, controlled, solid, but fast. 2 Andretti cars in those top 3 positions. Ed Carpenter, we didn't speak about him in the highlights. That was interesting. It was a really impressive run from Ed, perhaps not as much as we thought from Marco Andretti. And then you see the second rookie on that front page in the top 9. AJ Allmendinger should be very pleased with his performance. Let's roll back those who did not make the top 9, but are certainly in the field.
And one thing you saw on that first page, on the right-hand side, all those logos were Chevrolet. The highest qualified Honda at the moment, Alex Tagliani in 11th. So at the moment, the top 9 locked out by Chevy.
We're going to roll through that order for you of who is where and who did what. But Jill, what grabbed your attention from that session?
Well, how difficult the conditions were, particularly for those early runners just after the rain. So I think for the next hour and a half, you're going to see some guys coming back and trying to get themselves either back in the 24 or even in the top 9.
Speaking of that, look who is in that 24th and final position on the first day of qualifying. Graham Rahal on the bubble. And he will not be pleased with that because he was feeling quite positive earlier today. But remember, as Gil just mentioned, those early conditions challenging, and Graham was one of those early guys to go out. And not making that top 24, Ryan Briscoe, last year's pole sitter, did not make that top 24. There's still plenty of stories going on with more. Let's get to Will Buxton. Will?
James Jakes, half a pound underweight in qualifying, was DQ'd from qualifying, and the team has been working to get that car back out here on the track. Thing is, James wasn't that upset about it. They were hitting the limiter in fifth, so they knew the lap wasn't going to be up to all that much anyway. They rolled in, they were all ready to go, they were front of the queue, but they've just pulled it back into the garage area. James is left forlorn on the pit wall. Just ask him what's going on. Not even he knows right now. So a very, very exciting day for James Jakes. Will he get out to qualify right now? Your guess is as good as mine. Marty, what you got?
Well, what a day for Penske Racing, Will. You're talking about Will Power on the pole. In fact, they have that whole inside row, first, fourth, and seventh. And there's only one Penske car in the garage right now. It's Will Power's all the way down at the very end of the garage. The other two are missing. That's because they have rolled out for race practice. Elio Castroneves and A.J. Allmendinger. And I just talked to Elio seconds ago. He told me I want every second I can get on this racetrack. I want to be ready for the race and also the Fast 9 coming up in a bit. Kevin?
Well, Marty, we talked before, too, about the strength of Andretti Autosport and how everybody might be chasing them. As you said, right now they're chasing Will Power, but they've got all 5 of their cars in the Fast 9 for the moment. Ryan Hunter-Reay, second. Third for the rookie, Carlos Munoz. Sixth for Marco Andretti, EJ Viso, eighth. And then James Hinchcliffe, ninth. So he's on the bubble for that Fast 9. This is Craig Hampson. He's the engineer. He said, well, it's not my call. It's Michael Andretti's call. They're not going to come out and practice, but they will be ready if they get bumped out of that top 9. And Craig said, I think we probably need to be ready. Also, somebody to mention is Ed Carpenter, another Chevy. He's always been fast here. 8th is his best start a couple of times. Ed Carpenter was 5th in the first round of qualifying, so he might have a chance to be in that Fast 9.
Thanks, Kevin. Thanks for the news roundup, boys. Hi, folks. Leigh Diffey along with Indy 500 winner Gil de Ferran and Jon Beekhuis back with you again here live at the Brickyard. I think there's plenty of stories. There's plenty for us to chew on from that opening session of qualifying. Who did what, who came out when, who really performed. I think Power blew us all away with those 229 mile an hour, those 2 opening laps. And you were kind of, I was watching you were grimacing and you were like, oh my goodness, this is close. But that was out and out impressive, wasn't it?
Yeah, that was completely out of reach from everyone. I mean, we saw lots of laps in the high 27s, low 28s, even mid 28s, and then all of a sudden Power goes out 29.4. I think it was the first lap, and it's like, where did that come from? And but he was very impressive, and he clearly looks like he's very much in control. It's looking good. I mean, if I was him, I would not go out and just wait and go out on the Fast 9. On the other hand, you see Elio, who was very fast, but did not look too happy with his run. So I think we probably will see him practicing, getting ready for the Fast 9. And
Jan, when we look at the Ganassi group, there are 4 cars. The primary 2 with winners in Dario Franchitti and Scott Dixon. Then we look at the satellite team, if you wish, of Charlie Kimball and Ryan Briscoe. The first 3 guys I mentioned are all reasonably close in speeds. And then Ryan Briscoe, last year's pole sitter, did not make that top 24. Is that time away from the sport, or there's something else we might be able to put our finger on?
You can't chalk that up to not having been in the car. I think you chalk that up to the fact that they just didn't have the setup that worked for him. And Gil, you were talking, just watching, that just wasn't a good-looking attempt. The car wasn't right. Ryan Briscoe, he hasn't lost anything. That's just a case of, you know, sometimes you don't hit the setup and they missed it.
He didn't look comfortable at all. You know, you could see him twitching the steering wheel, and it didn't look comfortable at all. So I mean, I think he'll definitely try to requalify, at least get in the top 24, because tomorrow they don't want to qualify. They want to get ready for the race and practice with full tanks and so on, if they can.
This team, AJ Foyt Racing, was a story, and not because of this guy here, Takuma Sato, the IZOD IndyCar Series points leader at the moment, but it was his rookie teammate Connor Daly. He went out for his very first ever qualifying run in the Indy 500, and a broken header was the reason we were given earlier for him having to abort his lap. So more frustration after a crash on Thursday, and then dramas for Connor Daly earlier today. So this session now, we can run all the way up to 6 o'clock, will be and should be a valuable time for Connor Daly. And there's the car that we were just talking about, Ryan Briscoe. And the Ganassi boys, the gentleman in the white shirt is Tim Keane, team manager. He's been around way back in the Juan Pablo Montoya days. Timmy knows what to do and how to get this car back up to speed. So Briscoe, last year's pole man, and if you saw that lap last year, you'll know why it wasn't very Ryan Briscoe-esque earlier today. They're not happy, understandably, and they'll be going back out. So will this man here, James Jakes. The closing minutes, the rising tension and pressure here at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway. Townsend Bell is at the head of the line to roll back out for his third and final qualifying attempt. And there is a scramble going on behind as well, because we're running out. 10 minutes, 15 seconds left. That's it.
Well, I think you want to be in the field in the first day, because it really will affect your race preparation that most guys that qualified today will do tomorrow. So that's also another thing that makes it very important for you to put the car in the field today.
James Jakes feels as though he's got another shot, that he could do it, get himself into a safer position and out of that drop zone. He's in the 24th and final position. So in those nervous spots, as Townsend Bell leaves the lane for his third and final qualifying attempt, James Jakes is in that 24th and final spot. Newgarden, De Silvestro, Briscoe and Pagenaud are the last 5 in that line. So when you're at Pagenaud, you're probably a little safer. So too for Ryan Briscoe, who did very well on his third and final run. For the guys down a little lower, it is pressure cooker situation.
Now, the question that we had, Gil and I were talking, the three of us were talking, if he told Marty that they don't know what happened, the car seemed to lay down. If you don't know what the problem is, then you don't know what to fix. So what is he expecting, Marty?
Well, and they were fully trimmed out on that last run, meaning they could get all the downforce out of it they could on that last run. That's about all Townsend could stand. All they did, I talked to the team, was cool the car down. That's it. No major changes to the car. It's all going to be with that right foot.
It does seem to be something about this temperature thing, that every time they do 2 runs one after the other, the second run seems to be slower. Maybe it does have to do with temperature. We saw Jakes doing the same thing.
But my, oh my, does Townsend need this to work, because they're feeling quite silly anytime you pull a 225.6 and you're in 20th.
And you're in the field.
And you're in the field solidly. You're like, this has got to work.
He was not pleased, so he's going to try and make it work now. As the green comes out for Townsend Bell, who normally is sitting up here with us in the NBC Sports Network booth, he's now sitting in the Sunoco Turbo Chevrolet.
221 even on the warm-up lap.
And that's fine.
Yep, that's about what you want.
You can just feel the tension. I suppose he's squeezing the steering wheel a little bit harder.
He's got more and more comfortable as the week has gone on. This is going to tell us something. This opening lap.
Whoa, the ruler says this is a good one. He's recovered on his speed.
That's great news for Townsend. I mean, he looks very comfortable there, whereas before he was really running wide. He's well in the groove now.
It's going to be in the 226 range. 226.146 for Townsend Bell. Now we're talking. 1 down, 3 to go to get himself back in the field on the opening day.
Talk about stress.
And he's thinking, just don't lay down. Whatever you did last time, don't do it again. Keep this momentum.
He does well here. He's got a good track record here. He was on the set with us earlier today. He said, make no mistake about it, it's scary. You are on a razor's edge when you're qualifying here in an IndyCar for the Indy 500, but I love it.
He's going to slip to a 225, but he's still looking good.
25.797, 225 miles an hour, .797.
Well, if he keeps at his pace, he's solidly into the field. I mean, what an amazing job.
Remember that the cutoff is James Jakes in 24th at a 225.153. So he's above that. He's faster than that at the moment, over the halfway mark. There's James Jakes, and he knows what's on the line here. His teammate Graham Rahal has been bumped out. He was in, and he was out, and he was in, and he was out. It's been fluctuating.
And you know what Townsend's going to say? Oh, yeah, we were just messing with you guys. Yeah.
Sure.
we just wanted to build some drama.
Of course.
225.5, so marginally slower than his second lap, but it's still looking good. It's still enough to get in the field.
No mistakes. He needs to make no mistakes at all right now. But the car is sliding a little bit more than he was on the first lap. But I think this will be enough.
JB, John Barnes, watching, team owner.
Panther Racing, and he's got 3 guys here. Of course, the Panther Dryer Reinbold combined effort with Oriol Servia, and John's lead driver, J.R. Hildebrand, did very well with the 10th quickest speed. Here comes Townsend Bell to the line. The 4-lap average, he has improved to a 2:25.6. Townsend is back in the field. 21st overall, and the gamble paid off.
How do you think he feels now?
He exchanged a 2:25.699 for a 2:25.643. That was a lot of stress.
Look, he's worked in television long enough to understand the editorial. He just wanted to give us drama.
Yeah, he'll say, oh, yeah, we did that for you.
A few more gray hairs for him, I think.
Now to respond, because this man here, with less than 5 minutes to go, James Jakes, has been bumped out of the field. Joseph Newgarden is now on the bubble.
But is he in position? Who's next in line? Because he was down there protecting his position, but there would only be time for one more, if that.
Well, we did see a scramble to get Anna Beatrice up there and get her in the line. And we just got word that Michelle Jourdain is the next in line.
This could be bad news for Newgarden.
And guys, just imagine what James Jakes was thinking sitting in that car. He was getting every lap time and speed that Townsend Bell was doing. So he's sitting there calculating, okay, probably going to have to run. Okay, definitely have to run. And has to switch into qualifying mode immediately and go out there and get himself back in the field. That's pretty tough stuff to do, isn't it?
Very. Yeah, Newgarden's nowhere near the front of the line. He'd have to have everyone ahead of him bail, and I don't think that's going to happen.
No. So that means if Jake's run is fast enough, Newgarden will have to qualify again tomorrow.
Exactly. And they said, Sarah Fisher said, they put the Century 21 Honda up there to be slightly defensive. They may be forced into a situation that they don't really want to be in with 3.5 minutes to go.
And guys, keep in mind, Newgarden was in line right in front of Townsend Bell, pulled out. When he pulled out, all these other cars pulled in front of him. So that's when all these cars got in front of him. So just was timing that went wrong for Joseph Newgarden.
Well, maybe not, because Jake still has to bump his way in. If Jakes doesn't do it, Newgarden did the right thing. He didn't pull himself out.
There is the 21-year-old.
Oh, and he's improving.
26-0 the first lap.
Yeah, this is not good for Joseph Newgarden, but it's great for James Jakes.
And all of a sudden, there is Sarah Fisher looking on. All of a sudden, people like Simona Di Silvestro and Ryan Briscoe are sliding back down towards that 24th position where Joseph Newgarden is.
Oh, she's got to be thinking, damned if you do, damned if you don't.
Yeah.
She thinks, last time I pulled a car out, I got burned. This time, I probably should have run.
It's a very difficult situation. You know, I've been there as a driver, and I remember simply getting to the point of saying, Roger, you decide. You tell me when to go, and I'll go. I don't want to be part of this decision.
Take the decision-making away from me.
Yeah.
2:25.754 for James Jakes. This has been a much improved run.
He looks a lot better. He's squeezing every inch out of it. I mean, he's getting so close to the walls.
He's actually sped up a bit in that part of the racetrack, so he's well maintaining his speed.
He's doing a great job here.
This should be a little quicker. This might be a 2:25.8.
Coming up to the final lap for James Jakes. 2:26.0, 2:25.7, and a 2:25.8. So he does go marginally faster. He is putting himself back in the field. And it's such a gamble. When you are in, you're the 24th and final car, and then you get bumped. You got to discard that time that was in the books and say, let's roll the dice, let's go again. Let's roll up our sleeves and fight hard. Exactly like we've just seen Townsend Bell do. James Jakes is following in Townsend's footsteps. Coming to the line to put himself back in the field. His 4th lap time and speed of a 2:25.5 and his average 2:25.8. Well done, James Jakes. Puts himself 20th in the order.
225.809. All right. 50 seconds to go.
The stress on Sarah Fisher's face. Michelle Jourdain has made it.
But he has been nowhere.
I wonder if Bo will wave him off if the first lap is
well,
way
so you'd have to, doesn't matter.
Yeah, it doesn't
we got
matter.
34. They're not going to get him off the track in 34 seconds.
It's too late. It's too late. That's it.
That's it. And Joseph Newgarden in the Century 21 Honda sees himself sitting in 25th position.
I mean, he was only at 220 miles an hour, and it looked scary the last time he was out. I can't imagine that he's anywhere close. I mean, there could be a miracle.
Here comes the gun.
He's going to need it.
Gun is about to go off at 6 p.m. Tradition here at the Brickyard. There it is. And that's it. And there is a very dejected Joseph Newgarden. He was in the field until just moments ago.
And she mentioned an electronic problem. We weren't sure what happened on lap 2. He had 3 really good laps, but on lap 2 something happened. She confirmed it was electronic, so it wasn't his driving. Something, we thought maybe revometer, we're not sure, but something caused him to not make it for today.
Yeah, because from here we couldn't really see anything wrong.
Michel Jourdain in the Office Depot Rahal car, his second attempt.
Warm-up is only at 2:15, so he's got a long way to go. You know, if you're not close, don't take a risk.
Jourdain has been around for many, many years. In fact, he used to race when I was racing.
He won two races in the kart era. He went off and did some NASCAR Nationwide, NASCAR Camping World Trucks, a variety of sports car racing and other rally kind of racing in Mexico. And he was telling me the other day he is not actively driving anything at the moment. It just shows you what a steep hill it is to climb to strap yourself back in to an IndyCar and come to the Brickyard.
It's an impossible task, and his first lap is 2:19.0. I admire him for trying to meet that challenge, but it's a big, big challenge. You know, this is possibly the most difficult racetrack any race driver can go to.
So as we watch Michel Jourdain, we're going to join our colleague and friend who just made himself a bit of a hero here, Will, didn't he?
He did indeed. Townsend, don't do that to us again. Seriously, that was pretty close.
That's not the way you want to do qualifying day. I don't know what's going on, man. We're fully trimmed out. Our Sunoco turbo car was decent in practice right before we went, and then we lost 2 miles an hour. We were baffled. We lost our position, and then we had to scramble and just try some kind of magic to get it back in. I have no idea why we're going as slow as we are, but we're going to work hard on it. At least we're in today, and we'll be strong on race day.
What about that frustration of putting that great lap aside, going out and suddenly, being on the outside looking in?
You know, it's just, you can't believe it. You think, oh, this will be easy. We'll go get ourselves, 7, 8 easy spots without trying too hard. All of a sudden, I'm out there. I just can't believe the lap time, and your heart sinks knowing all the effort everybody's put in. I went on the radio. The guys came over my Bowers and Wilkins earpieces and said, "What's going on?" I said, "I'm wide open. This is all it's got." It's just, it's Indianapolis, but I think we got something else going here. We got to get it fixed.
Squeaky bum time indeed. Love the hat, mate. Marty.
With Joseph Newgarden, and is there any more frustrating feeling than sitting here in line? You can't get to qualify, and then you get knocked out of the field.
That's no big deal. Hey, we'll put it in tomorrow.
It's a big deal.
Well, it happens. I mean, we weren't at the front. I think we had a ton of speed in practice, and Century 21 car's plenty fast. It's been fast all week in race trim, so the qualifying for us, I don't think this has not been our year to try and get pole, but I can tell you what, we'll be just fine for the race, I think, and that's really our aim, so we're looking forward to next weekend.
As fast as you were this morning, was this even in the realm of possibility in your mind this morning?
No, not at all, to be honest. I think we have plenty of speed to get in right now. We just, we didn't want to do a run there. We didn't think we would get bumped. We thought we had plenty of time, basically, and well, we almost thought everyone else would run out of time, and I guess that wasn't the case. So no problem. We had plenty of speed this morning. I guess we'll try and get the thing in the show tomorrow, and then hopefully work on some more race setup stuff.
Good to see you got a good attitude about it. The one thing he wants, Lee, he wants Townsend's hat. That was a sharp-looking hat from Mr. Bell, wasn't
it? he may have one for tomorrow. He might have one for next week's Indianapolis 500. So good to see him keep a positive outlook, but there is a deep down burn of frustration. That's for sure. Now, there is some more to come today, and it's the guys at the front. The Fast 9 is still to come and we will have the tail end of that for you. But we're not done. We're still here with you for another 25 minutes. So much to talk about on pole day for the 500. Fast 9 coming up for pole day for this year's Indy 500 and running late. That's been the story of the day due to the bad weather earlier on. And those Fast 9 are Will Power, Ryan Hunter-Reay, Carlos Munoz, one of 2 rookies, AJ Allmendinger, the other one. All 5 Andretti Autosport cars are in the mix. And Ed Carpenter, sitting position 5, should be very, very proud of the qualifying day he has had here in his hometown. So, it's all to play for. We do need to leave the speedway at the bottom of the hour for the Preakness Stakes post-race show. You won't miss a thing if you log on to IndyCar.com. There's live streaming, and we will be back at the top of the hour at 7 o'clock for bonus coverage, and we hope to catch the final 3, the fastest of the Fast 9, because it works in reverse order. Hinchcliffe, who was 9th, goes out first, and there is the GoDaddy Chevrolet, and Hinch standing there just waiting until he gets the cue that it's time to start the Fast 9. Tense times, and it has been a very elongated day. It's been even more stressful because there was that long wait earlier in the day for not only the weather to pass, but the track to dry. And that's what it's all about there. And the man sitting with us, Gil de Ferran, his face is on the Borg Warner. He won it in 2003. And mate, just walking over to the booth with you this morning with your ring, thinking about it, we walked across, I took a photo of you on the yard of bricks, and you know, I know you're a little bit jet lagged, but it was just terrific to see how much it means for you coming back here on the 10th anniversary of your win.
Oh, this place is like a church, really, for everybody that loves motorsports. And you know, I feel different when I walk in here. You can feel the tension, you can feel the excitement. It's really a mecca for everyone in the world that loves motorsports. And even though I didn't grow up in the US, I always viewed the Indianapolis Motor Speedway in this way. And when you saw the interview from the drivers, you know, you can hear the tension that they have going into this Fast 9 here, and how important it is to be in pole position here in the Indianapolis Motor Speedway.
All you're going to do is take a close look at the drivers' faces, Jan. It says it all, doesn't it? The drivers' faces, the expression says it all.
It does, and what they know is they know they have a tough task.
All right, remember, we will be back in 30 minutes. Preakness Stakes post-race show coming up right now. Bonus coverage from the Speedway at 7. Stay with us. We'll see you in half an hour. IndyCar.com for live streaming. We welcome you back to the Indianapolis Motor Speedway. For those of you turning on, expecting cycling, be patient. It's coming your way in about 15 minutes. This is bonus extended coverage of pole day for the Indianapolis 500 live on the NBC Sports Network. And this is 3-time winner, Penske superstar. This is Helio Castroneves on his run in the Fast 9. For those of you just joining us, if you weren't watching the live streaming online, Indiana native Ed Carpenter there on the left-hand side has just set a blistering 4-lap average speed of 228.7 miles an hour to be the provisional pole sitter. He's ahead of Marco Andretti, EJ Viso, AJ Allmendinger, and James Hinchcliffe. Lap 1 for Castroneves coming up. 228.770. And based on the speed that man on the left did, that is not enough, Jan.
It is not. That would slot him into 3rd spot. But what we have seen is that so much of this comes to the drop-off. Can Castroneves keep the speed up? That's the key. If you drop off, you don't have a shot.
Leigh Diffey, Jon Beekhuis, in 2003 Indy 500 winner Gil de Ferran with you. Can you believe what you've been seeing?
No, I've been on the edge of my seat for the last 15-20 minutes here watching this qualifying. And it's been super exciting. I mean, what Ed Carpenter was able to do was absolutely incredible. And Helio's doing a good job here, but that's not going to be enough to beat Carpenter, I don't think.
228.11 for Helio's 2nd lap. And he's the 2nd Penske driver of 3 to go out in the Fast 9. AJ Allmendinger, who's enjoying a rookie Indy 500 experience, has done very well, but he's a little further down the order.
And he's dropped off just the same amount as everyone else. I mean, everybody's dropping off quite a bit. The cars are sliding a lot, very, very difficult to drive. Just keeping out of the wall is hard enough.
They were aggressive on the setup. He did do a 2:35 going into turn 1. Last lap was a 2:34, so they gave it everything. They took the downforce out.
2:27. So the first 2 laps in the 28s are 2:27.43 for Castro Neves.
I think they reached the edge of the limit of grip here. The car seems to be sliding more and more, and that's why you see the speed dropping off. Let's see what decision they're going to make with Will Power, and that's what's going to be very interesting coming up here.
Power is the 9th and final driver to go out in the Fast 9. The man you're looking at on the left, the fuzzy Chevrolet driver, that is Ed Carpenter. He is the fastest man at the moment. He will stay the fastest man because as Castro Neves comes to the line, his 4-lap average is 2:27.76, and he actually finishes behind AJ Allmendinger. Castro Neves, the 5th fastest time. Let's hear from Ed Carpenter. Marty.
Well, the favorite son of Indianapolis with his wife Heather right here, and did that lap surprise you, honestly, Ed?
Well, kind of, but at the same time, I knew we had more after the run before. You know, the weather's really helped us here. We didn't have enough down first before, and we were still a little light. The Penske cars have less than us, so I'm hoping that they'll keep slowing up. But we certainly have a chance. But either way, this is a whole lot of fun. You know, I thought the rest of the day I had a lot of anxiety waiting, but this is crazy. So just thanks to Fuzzies and the whole Ed Carpenter Racing team for giving me the opportunity to even be in this position. It's a lot of fun, and my parents and sister up in South Bend. My sister graduates tomorrow, so wish they were here.
You certainly won before Kentucky, California. What would it mean to you to sit on the pole in your hometown at Indianapolis?
I mean, both those wins were awesome, but I think a pole at Indianapolis, and then once we win Indy, that'll be the best.
Once you win it, very good. Heather, are you doing okay? You hanging in there?
Hanging in there.
Now they're going to wait it out, guys, see if they can hang on to the pole.
Ed's best start here at the Brickyard is 8th, and he's done it twice in 2010, 2011. They go in reverse order in the Fast 9, so Hinchcliffe was first out, and we're working our way through. The man highlighted is the guy we just heard from. He is the fastest. And yes, your eyes aren't deceiving you. This is an all Chevrolet-powered Fast 9. They have locked Honda out. Alex Tagliani was the best Honda, and he is in 11th position. So we have got this sensational young rookie, the 21-year-old Colombian, Carlos Munoz, is out for Andretti Autosport. And this guy has been impressive. There's been a few wild things too throughout the week, Jan, hasn't there? But when he had to put it together earlier today, he did.
There has. He does a 2:24 warm-up. That's right in the ballpark where you want to be. And Jill, certainly we have noticed that he has a much different driving style. Look how low he gets below the white line.
He gets very close to the that curve there on the inside, and I don't think you want to touch that, because if you do, I think the car is going to snap around on you. But he certainly takes a very different line, and is clearly very quick, but very different from everyone else.
Will Buxton spoke to him a little earlier. Pretty laid back. He's enjoying his rookie experience at the Speedway, and he's the current points leader in the Firestone Indy Lights Championship. 2:28.988. Kev.
Not only is Carlos Munoz a rookie here, he's never driven a race in an Indy car before. He's in the development series, Firestone Indy Lights, but he's been impressive since he got here, has seemed unfazed, said after the first day it wasn't much different than a lights car. It took him just a few laps to get accustomed to it. He's been fastest 2 days so far in practice, and when I talked to Michael Andretti about him this afternoon, he said, I think he's got a chance to win the pole here in this Fast 9.
Good opening lap. He's about to complete the second of 4. For Munoz,
2 laps to go, 2 to go.
Here it is, 2:28.382. So the youngster is being very consistent as he runs high.
Very close to the wall there.
He's fighting. You can see his hands, and he is fighting that car.
He has been electrifying.
Talk about anxiety. I'm feeling a lot of anxiety here just watching this.
Look at the ruler, though. It puts him in second right now. That he hasn't been, even with those moments, wow, he's still gaining some time.
He's so close to that wall.
That is the very nervous voice of 03 Indy 500 champ Gil de Ferran you're hearing, reliving the moments here at the Speedway. And 2:28.211, all three in the 228-mile-an-hour range. And he is using everything that's out there.
I think I need to go to the medical center after this.
Just 2 drivers to come after this.
2 corners.
He's not going to have enough, I don't believe, for Carpenter, but this is an amazing performance.
Well, he can be on the front row with this.
Yes, that's what he said he wanted. He said he wanted the front row, and he's got a good shot at it.
Congratulations. That's a very impressive run for a rookie.
2 incredible 4-lap runs from the 21-year-old. Carlos Munoz is in second. So Andretti Autosport, they say, whew, we were close. We didn't get it, but we do have 1 left, and that is the defending series champion, Ryan Hunter-Reay. There's your provisional pole sitter, Ed Carpenter. Graduate of Butler University, not too far away, and there's a Bulldog, there's a Butler Bulldog on his car this weekend. Maybe that's the difference. For those of you turning on and expecting to see the Amgen Tour of California cycling, it is coming up. It is coming up. We have 2 drivers left in this Fast 9 to determine the pole sitter, who will win $100,000 and 15 championship points towards their IZOD IndyCar Series tally. As soon as we get through those, we will take you to the tour.
Interesting piece of information about Ryan. He's my neighbor in Fort Lauderdale, Florida.
So are you saying to be fast, you've got to live in Fort Lauderdale?
Absolutely.
Okay, first time by, first time by.
I tell you, he's one of the big superstars of this series. I mean, he's always been a standout even before he got into the series. And last year, he just found a new level of performance, and he's been keeping that level of performance ever since. I'm really a big fan of Ryan.
Tell us more about the man we call RHR, Kevin.
Well, on his way to the championship last year, he qualified on the front row, 3rd at Indianapolis, and said last year they focused more on qualifying. This year, they're worried more about the race, but despite that, he's got a chance. And just a couple of minutes ago, before he went out, he was asked on his radio, okay, it's decision time. Do you want to go for it? I think we can have more than Ed Carpenter has. Ryan said, let's do it. Half turn of front wing, and they're going for the pole.
And if you think about Ed Carpenter, only 2 guys left. The worst that Carpenter can start this year's Indy 500 is on the front row, something he has never done.
And he's ahead. Well, he's 1,000th of a second difference from Ed Carpenter right now. I mean, this is going to be very, very close.
226.2 is his warm-up. Just a little bit slower than Carpenter, but sometimes that works in your favor. You save the tires somewhat. This car doesn't look quite as stuck as what Carpenter was.
Watch the slide.
He's starting to drop off a little bit.
First lap, first lap.
Here's the time. 2:28.778 for Ryan Hunter-Reay, opening lap.
Really, for him to beat Carpenter, he needs to speed up and not slow down, which is a tall order with this level of downforce. This car is sliding too much.
And if you're saying, why are we running so late? What happened? We had rain earlier in the day here that pushed everything back. It is the first time qualifying has extended past 6 p.m. local time since 1968. So we are running late here at the Brickyard.
Second lap.
And look at that slide. It's dropping for Ryan Hunter-Reay. 2:28.106. It's going in the wrong direction.
And you can see he's going wider and wider on the middle of the turns. And this is usually not a good sign.
So Munoz knows that he's looking good. He's looking strong. If things don't improve for Ryan Hunter-Reay, then he may be on the front row in his rookie appearance.
Which is very, very impressive.
Ed and Heather Carpenter and the Fuzzies ECR team.
What a great story, huh?
Ah, terrific story. And remember, this is the beginning of the Fuzzies Triple Crown, where there's $1 million on the line. 2:27.39 yard.
And the part of that story is there are 5 Andretti Autosport cars in this that they can share information. Ed Carpenter, that's a single car effort. That is very impressive.
Final run for Ryan. And just where in the order is he going to slot in? You can see the slide. You can see the rule there says he's around about 6th in this Fast 9 run to determine the pole sitter.
Checker flag.
What's the 4-lap average look like for Ryan Hunter-Reay, the defending series champ? 2:27.904. He drops from second at the end of regular qualifying to 6th. And look at that. So there's a guaranteed front row. Ed Carpenter has assured himself of at least second, and the pressure to perform. What a magical day too for the newly appointed president of operations and competition, a veteran. Gil, a man you used to drive for, Derek Walker. This is his last race meeting with Ed Carpenter Racing. He's going to say his farewell at the 500 and then move into his official role with the IZOD IndyCar Series.
That would be a great accomplishment for Derek. I know how passionate he is about here in Indianapolis, and it will be both fantastic for Ed and for Derek. Very deserved.
As Will Power, the final man in the Fast 9, rolls out, let's hear from this dynamic young rookie, Carlos Munoz.
Indy 500 has a new superstar. Carlos, that man is you. What a lap. You will be starting from the front row for your first Indy 500. What a result.
Yeah, it was awesome run again. You know, we took a little bit. We have some changes for this run. The car was again really good. I have to have big thank you to my team, to Andretti, to all my mechanics, to everyone, my driver coach, Santi. Front rows means a lot, you know. We're just 21 years old to be in front rows with these guys. It's just unbelievable. As I say, the most important now is the race, so hopefully tomorrow we can focus on that. But so far, I'm really happy I have done, and I hope to close this month really good.
Congratulations. That lap took some guts. Well done. Well done. Back to you.
Here we go. Will Power, the final man, Penske's final man, the fastest man at the end of regular qualifying. President of Penske Racing is Tim Cindric in the white shirt. Tell us more about Will, Marty.
And you see Tim on the left-hand side. I was with Will before he got in the car. The pacing is what I noticed. He was very nervous getting into the car fully trimmed out. You see Cindric waving the green flag. They are going to take these 4 laps for Will Power. But when that car is fully trimmed out, Gil, and it's cool like it is right now, it takes a lot of guts to drive it, doesn't it?
Like I said, it's just difficult to keep it on the racetrack and not have an accident, you know, never mind going for the pole. So it's really a situation where you either achieve the ultimate glory or you end up with in an accident.
Talk about trimming, 235.7. That's the highest speed we've seen as a trap speed into turn 1. So they've taken it out. But is it too much? Is it going to lose it in the corners?
The marker has dropped Power to second on this opening lap. And you will see Will use every inch of asphalt here at the Brickyard. End of the first flying lap for Will Power. And it's a 2:29.112. Listen to the crowd reaction. He is in the zone.
This is going to be very close.
In the regular qualifying, he backed it up with another 2:29 on lap 2.
And he just hit 2:36 for a trap speed. First time we've seen that number in turn 1.
Carpenter knows the pressure is on, the challenge is coming from this incredible driver. 3 times a series runner-up. Will Power has been the man today, but can he deliver now?
He has to be absolutely perfect to the inch.
Think about the David and Goliath story as he pops in a 2:28.375. You're talking about a 17-time pole winning team, a 15-time Indy 500 winning team in Penske Racing versus a single-man team, an owner-driver in Ed Carpenter. What a story! What a story!
I just thought I saw Power going very loose there in the exit of 2. I think he's really struggling to keep the car going.
They have the straight line speed, but they may have taken out too much. Will Power's not able to hang on to it. He's slowing.
1 lap to go, and this is really going to tell us more. 2:29, 2:28, 2:27. This is getting better and better for Indiana's hero, Ed Carpenter.
He nearly hit the wall there coming out of 1.
And Ed just turned to his family and said, not yet, not yet. Don't celebrate yet, everyone.
This is a fairy tale. It really is. Indiana's own at the Brickyard. It's too little too late for Will Power. There's $100,000 and 15 championship points waiting for the man on the left. The only owner driver in the field. Will Power will come to the line, but it will not be enough. His average for the 4 laps is 2:28. Ed Carpenter is the pole.
seen down here being pushed around, Heather, with tears in your eyes. You're the Indy 500 pole sitter, my friend. Did you expect this today at all?
I knew we had a shot. You know, I felt like coming in that we had a chance to be on in a pole or outside the top 10. This field is unbelievable. To be able to sit on the pole for this race, you know, it's a really big start of a dream come true, and I hope it's a start of what's been a great month of May. And you know, Fuzzy's Vodka Car's been great. You know, I really just can't thank my team enough. The sponsors, Fuzzy's Vodka, we got Deem came on, Country Mark, a lot of great people that have helped us get here. But really, this just goes all to our people, Derek Walker, Tim Broyles, the whole engineering team, all the guys that put in so much work on this car. You know, and I'm proud of them, but you know, this is just the first part of what we're here to do.
You mentioned Derek, his last weekend with you. Is this a win for the little guys?
You know, to be a single car team in this Chevy shootout, I'm going to call it. You know, fighting with Penske and Andretti guys, you know, that's an accomplishment in and of itself. But for this team to put in the hard work to go out and give me what I needed to put it on pole is great. And you know, I think a whole lot of prayers went into this too. Every qualifying run I did today, I was praying the whole way and praying when I got done. So thanks up top.
How about Ed Carpenter Racing? They knock off everyone and beat Penske for the pole at Indianapolis, Leigh.
It is the stuff of dreams, Marty. It is the stuff of dreams. What a special day for Ed and Heather Carpenter and the entire Fuzzies team. Really special day for some local lads. Hey, we'll be back tomorrow with bump day coverage from noon. Coming up right now, the Amgen Tour of California. It was a long day, but what a memorable one at the Brickyard. On behalf of the whole team, we'll see you tomorrow.